Hello, Stampin' Friends. This is Lisa from Live and Let Stamp, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Hang An Ornament set, or bundle rather, stamp set and dies, to create beautiful cards with ornaments on them. And I've made the ornaments 3 very different ways, so I'm going to show you those, and then I'm going to demonstrate heat embossing to show you that, because that's a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to focus on this card. And I'm just going to maybe get a little closer. So this pattern on the cherry cobbler paper is done with white embossing powder, because you really can't get a white ink to show up on dark paper or any paper really. It just doesn't work. So really your only option of really having white stand out on a card is to heat emboss it. So you'll notice that I'm working under a bit of a handicap here. Sunday, I was running from the bathroom where I had just told my husband, there's been a huge play. Anthony Richardson completed a 33-yard pass. I got to go see if they score. And I took off running. And turns out the little transition piece between the 2 rooms is cracked. So I must have stepped on it just right. And I was running that when it pushed down the front, my slipper caught on the top. Think of it as like, someone had strung a little bitty clothesline down there. And I just went flying. It was terrifying. It really, really scared me. Hit my chin on a table. I jammed my finger into the door frame, and I have a tiny crack in 2 of the knuckles, enough to just really hurt. So I have to keep it wrapped like this for a couple weeks, 24/7, except when I shower. So that's why I've kind of done some of this card ahead, because it can be sometimes a little awkward and take some time for me to like coordinate. But I mean, my other fingers, they work fine. It's just a little awkward. So anyway, back to the card. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the card base, which is in garden green. And then I've done some embossing with an embossing folder of the So Swirly, because it just gives a nice, pretty little texture on the card. It just adds to it. This DSP in Cherry Cobbler is from you can buy this set of 6x6 papers. This is all of the Regal's colors, and you get 4 each of all 10 colors, and you have 4 designs, because you have 2 of the same, but they're different on front and back. So this is a really great thing to have on hand, just to add a little pop of a design onto a card. So that came in handy because it really needed something. The ornament itself is cut using this die. Now this die is special in that it doesn't go all the way around. It leaves these 3 little nubs where you can make a card. Oh my goodness, I accidentally punched it out. But if those 3 little nubs were still attached, and then you can put that on the card, and there's a little stamp that says pull, and your recipient can then pull this off of the card. There's a tiny hole, and they can actually put a little hanger and hang it on their tree. How cute is that? You could send them an ornament as part of the card. So cool. But for these cards, I decided to just make ornament cards. Okay, so I have all of that ready. So let me go ahead and demonstrate the heat embossing. I had a lot of fun recently. My sister came to visit, and she's a new Stampin' Up crafter. She's very crafty, but new to Stampin' Up over the past few months, and she was not familiar. She was frustrated, really, because she's like, Lisa, the white, I hate it. It just doesn't look right. And I'm like, I know, but let me show you how to fix that. And we had so much fun because she had never seen heat embossing done. I wish I had a video of her reaction because it was really cute. So I have my piece of cherry cobbler. I keep wanting to call it cranberry. And I'm using the embossing tools that really help you do a really nice job. This is an embossing buddy. I have it sitting on top of the ink so I don't forget to use it. Because if you forget to use it, you'll know, because all of your embossing powder will like start clinging all over everything. So this is just filled with like cornstarch or something that takes away the static. So you just kind of give a gentle rub of the embossing buddy to get rid of the static. By the way, this is also helpful if you're doing shaker cards, because your shaker things are usually very filled with static, and so is your window sheet. So next I'm going to take this stamp, and this is a different stamp than this one because I wanted to use them both, to show them both. Now this Versamark, this is a watermark ink, so it's sticky. It's a sticky ink, and that's how our embossing powder is going to stick to our paper. Okay, so actually let me get my foam mat under it and stamp. Okay, next I'm going to put it in my tray, and this is Stampin' Up! White Stampin' Emboss powder. This comes in a set of 3. You get white, black, and clear. And you're just going to pour that on. Don't worry, you're not going to waste any of it, because whatever you don't use is going to go right back in the jar. Okay, so now the powder has coated where the watermark ink went. So I do see a couple little stray pieces of white embossing powder, and that's what the brush is for, because every one of them is going to melt and leave a white dot or a white spot. So you want to make sure it's only where you want it. Okay. This tool is to keep you from burning your fingers. Okay, this is a little awkward. Oh, that hurts a bit. Okay. This is a heat gun. I've had this for like 20 years. Stampin' Up! Sells them. This one happens to be a Milwaukee that I've had, like I said, for 20 years. And it's a heat gun, and it gets very, very hot. Now, I don't know if it's going to show up on your screen, but this turns shiny white when it's melted. I hope you'll be able to see it. Did you see it? Oh, I hope you could see it because it's really, really cool. Now we have this beautiful white image on this dark cardstock, and it is raised. That's why it's called heat embossing, because the where the powder was and where that melted, you now have a raised image. Isn't that pretty? Love it. And it's really easy to do. And then all you have to do to clean up is this has a little lid on the end that you just open up. You open up your embossing powder, and it goes right back in. You can even use your little brush or your fingers to kind of get it all in there. Voila, no waste, just what you need. All right, so at this point, this is where you would go ahead and use that die to cut this out. And then you're just going to kind of punch it out to get it individual. So I've already done that because I wanted to show you how to put all the pieces together. And one more really great tool to use, If I could just find where I put them. Oh, they're all here. Okay. All right. So I stamped the All is Merry, and that's just going to go right across here. On this particular card, this is just stamped. I used white cardstock and I used the cherry cobbler ink, and I just stamped the design. So you can see the difference. They're like, you know, they're like inverted images with the background. And I used the die that cut this out to do just a little background, so it wouldn't be white on white in the cherry cobbler cardstock, and then put the All is Merry there. You get that die as well that cuts that really thin. Wouldn't it be cool if you could like print people's names maybe, or their last name, and put on the ornament? That would be so, so cool. Okay, so to put the ornament together, I have this tiny little ornament top and the hanger. Okay, so I'm going to use my take your pick tool and just use the little gummy end tool to do this. Okay, so I'm going to put some liquid glue, and then I'm going to put this there. And for the top piece, I'm going to do likewise. I'm able to just pick that up, and then I don't have to. I was like, how am I going to pick these little pieces up? Oh, there's a tool for that. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it on there. My hand's a little shaky. Voila. And then I'm going to put on the All is Merry. I'm just going to go ahead and put a strip of glue there and put that on side to side. Oops. And that's it. There's a little spot there where, like I said, it didn't cut, and that you just kind of have to smooth down, and then it's no problem. Okay. So I had that much of the card, and I thought, this definitely needs something else. So I looked at the set, and I noticed that it had holly. And I used, it cuts out 2 pieces of holly, and then I used the large and the 2 small to cut out the berries in cherry cobbler. So I'm going to go ahead and put the holly together. Just overlap those at the tip. And then I'm going to put on my large berry, and then 2 small berries. There. And 1 there. Okay, I've got a little glue seepage, but that's okay. It'll dry clear. Cute. Okay, so this I adhered with the foam dots. This I just glued right on the corner. I don't know if that's totally set. Hopefully it is. There we go. Okay, so that goes on the corner. And this goes on with foam. I'm trying to use up all my little edges. I don't throw anything away. So when you've used all of the dots, you wind up with all of this on the edge. So I like to use this. I don't want to waste anything. My mother definitely didn't raise me to waste anything, believe me. She was frugal. Anybody else out there have a frugal mom? And I'm just going to use this. I feel like it's almost like free when you're just using what, you know, is really meant to be thrown away. Okay, so then I'm going to flip this and glue it on. adhere it, I mean, not glue it on. And of course, you gotta have some bling. So I used my Cherry Cobbler and Pearl adhesive back dots. Haven't used the pearl ones at all, but I'm loving these. Now, you could use the groups of 3, but I think I'd save those to use on those holly pieces. So I'm just going to use the Cherry Cobbler ones. Put that here, and one here, and one here. Like a triangle there. And that's it. That is the entire card. So real quick, just let me show you the other ways that you can make the card. So you can heat emboss. You can just stamp the design, which is what I did here. Or you can take your designer series paper, like I got this from the deer, I forget what it's called, oh dear, or something like that. 12 by 12 DSP, and I thought that would make a really pretty ornament, especially since it has holly in the corner. So I just took and just die cut it right from that DSP. Again, I kind of put it back there behind All Is Merry. And there is the result. So I hope you enjoyed today's demonstration. Let me know if you have any questions about how I made these, or you'd like some measurements of the design, or have questions about heat embossing. I would love to answer those for you. So have a fantastic rest of your day.